Just want to get this Instagram feed up. There it is. I am Coach James. I am the creator and lead instructor for All About Aerodynamics, which is a science program that uses Hot Wheels cars to teach kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics, including, but not limited to, let me make sure, is this Instagram feed up? There we go. Now everybody's here. All About Aerodynamics teaches kindergarten through 6th grade students about a range of science and physics-related topics using Hot Wheels cars. Those topics include friction, force, aerodynamics, drag, lift, Isaac Newton and his 3 laws of motion, kinetic energy, potential energy, elastic energy, elastic force, just a range of science and physics topics. Once we have conducted experiments to drive home those concepts, then and only then do I bring in about 400 different Hot Wheels cars, and each student gets to select a Hot Wheels car they think would be fastest in a series of races based on everything they've learned in the course. Once they've selected their cars, they examine their cars, they weigh their cars, they test the speed of their cars, they check the year the car was manufactured, they check what the car is, the materials the car is made of. After they have made all of those observations and documented those, then we set up a 1/64th scale quarter-mile drag strip, and the students have the opportunity to race their cars. We have a little tournament, and they observe how their cars perform. Did their cars perform up to or below their expectations? And if they had the choice, would they select that car again, or would they make a different choice based on their observations? In the end, we have fun with Hot Wheels cars, and we learn science. What could be better? If you would like more information about our science program, All About Aerodynamics, all you have to do is go to aerodynamics.com, or you can follow us on Instagram at aerodynamics, and you can get all of the information you need in the bio to contact me to find out how to bring our science program to your school or your organization or your special event. But this is not all about aerodynamics. This is all about Aerodynamics presents Wind Tunnel Wednesday. So, Wind Tunnel Wednesday. A few months ago, I ordered last year I ordered, and then I received it a few months back, the Funtech Labs Windsible, which is a 1/64th scale wind tunnel, and we're able to take Hot Wheels cars, put them in the wind tunnel, turn it on, and we see streams of air flowing over, under, and around the Hot Wheels cars, and we are able to get an idea about the amount of drag that is going to be encountered by that car when it's racing on the track. Well, when does it race on the track? The cars race on the track on Saturday on our program AtTheTrack.live, where we have live Hot Wheels racing, and I'm introducing new cars into the fleet so that I can have them available for the students to use. So I go to storage, grab the cars, bring them over, crack those open. We take a look at those. I take a picture. I get a little short video. I enter the information about the new cars into the spreadsheet, and then they're ready to be used by the students. But since we've already got the cars available and the track is already set up, figure, why not have a tournament? So every Saturday we have a little mini tournament with the new cars that are introduced. But wait, there's more. You have the opportunity to participate. All you have to do is go to AtTheTrack.live. There are 3 options, and the address is down there. There are 3 options. One is the YouTube stream link. One is the Twitch stream link. You don't need those because you will need those on Saturday, but once you're watching, you won't need those. The 3rd link is the most important. That is the one that says choose your car. If you go to that link, then you can click on that, and it will take you to this page. And on this page, all of the cars that are currently in the All About Aerodynamics at the Track Live fleet are listed. There are currently 85 cars listed, and they are all listed, pictured, and numbered. So you can scroll through, you can find a car that you think would be faster than the cars that I've introduced or that the other people have picked, and when you find that car, let's say you decide it is this one, the dual fueler. You can click on it, you can take a look at it, you can say, yeah, I think that's the car I'm going to go with. And if it is, all you have to do is take the number, in this case 144, you drop that in the chat, and then I will pull that car. Once I pull the car, then you will have the opportunity to race, win our tournament. If you do this same thing today, if you go to AtTheTrack.live, you select choose a car, and you find a car, what we're going to do today is take that car and put it in the wind tunnel. Once we do that, then you will be able to actually take a look at the car and get an idea about the aerodynamic profile and how much drag that car is likely to encounter. Based on what you observe in the wind tunnel, it should kind of inform you about how that car will perform. It'll give you a pretty good idea. It's not going to be all the information you need, but it's going to be some of the information that you need. And it's probably, in my opinion, the information you'll get from the wind tunnel about the drag is probably the most important information that you'll need when trying to decide how this car is going to perform. So there are over 880 different cars to choose from. You find the car, drop the number in the chat, I will pull it, and we will stick it in the wind tunnel. You will get an idea about how the car is going to perform, and perhaps that's the car that you will use on Saturday in the tournament. And if you enter a car into the tournament and that car happens to be fast enough and it wins the tournament, it will have the opportunity to take on the fastest in fleet car, our champion, the Blitz Speeder. This car, the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet, and it is, at this point, it is without debate. We've been trying to find cars to beat the Blitz Speeder for months now, and it hasn't happened. The Blitz Speeder rarely even has races that are close, let alone races that are where it's in any danger of losing. So this is the car that you want to beat. This is the gold medal standard. This is the champion. This is the number one car. And we always start off every week putting this car in the wind tunnel, because the cars that you pick, if it doesn't have an aerodynamic profile similar to the Blitz Speeder, it's probably gonna have a hard time. Now, it might beat out the cars that are in the tournament, but to beat the Blitz Speeder, you need to have a car that has a similar profile that is kind of lessens the impact of drag, and that is what the Blitz Speeder does better than any other car that we have seen on the track. So you have time, you can go to AtTheTrack.live, find your car, I will pull it, and we'll stick it in the wind tunnel. Hey Christopher, hey Roughshod, I will pull those cars for you. But today's actually pretty it's interesting, because so we have the Windsible, which is the wind tunnel, and it's cool. It is a project that I backed on Kickstarter last year, and the people, they got enough funding and they were able to build it and ship it, and it is available to purchase, and we've been using it and it's been great. But the same company, Funtech Labs, came out with an accessory, and it is the Windsible. It is this thing. It is I always get dynamometer. It's a dynamometer. The sort of short term is a dyno, and basically it's, a friend of mine described it as a treadmill for cars. I'll switch over to this view. You can take a look. Let me get it back here and in focus. And it's got rollers, and you sit the cars in there, for example. So you take a car, put it there, put the back wheels on the back rollers, front wheels. This part slides, so it slides up so that you can get it to the right wheel length. Put this here, slide that up. So then the wheels sit between the rollers. So there's 2 rollers in the front, 2 rollers in the back. Those will start to turn, and then they will move the wheels of the car. Now, you see in the back there are 2 batteries, and today is the first day that I took this out and really tested it. And once I finish here later on tonight, I'm going to put up my sort of quick review of this thing and my first impressions. Anyway, it can a USB-C plug. It has a USB-C plug in the back here, or it takes 2 AAA batteries. The 2 AAA batteries are in there, and then you turn this little knob, and that is what makes it go, in theory. But the problem that I have run into already is that in the battery compartment, these little tabs are not pressing up against the battery. So right now, when I turn this, it should start, but it doesn't. In order to make it start, I've got to squeeze this and make it go. But as soon as I let go, it stops. Squeeze it and press in on the battery, and it will go. As soon as I let go, it stops. So the problem we're going to have is this. So I can take this USB cord and I can plug this in right here. And now we'll be able to see it work. Let me run the cord. I didn't work this out beforehand. I gotta run the cord a different way through here so that I can run it into the back. Alright, so I've got the cord in there. Then I'll slide this up, put the car there, bring this back, trying to get it lined up just right. And yeah, that's good right there. But now, alright, there we go. So the wheels, it turns and it works, and you can see it kind of simulates the car moving. If I can adjust this USB-C cable, then I can maybe turn it so you can get a better look. So that's how it works. Now, another problem I've noticed is that the cars drift to the side. Let me try and turn this way. Give a little more slack on the cable. And let me put something here to keep this from moving. And so what happens is the cars drift to the side. Not all of them, but you see that it won't stay in the middle, and they drift to one side or the other, and that is going to be a problem. Well, sort of in the wind tunnel. It just depends on how far to the side they drift, because in the wind tunnel, the air streams are going to hit the car right in the middle, and if you push the car off to the side, some cars, for example, let's say the salt shaker, have those big turbine engines on the side, so the airflow over the sides of the car isn't going to be the same. Some of the larger cars, I put a truck on here, which I'll show in my review. When I put the truck on there, this thing drifted to the side, and the wheels stopped because it bumps up against. Let me move this over. the wheels bump up against the sides. So it's interesting, but I don't really think it is going to be as useful as I thought it might be. We are going to use it with the Windsible because it is at least going to lift up the cars. It fits inside and it will lift the cars up. But this whole idea of simulating the cars moving isn't really working out because the cars just slide to one side or the other. And we also wouldn't be able to use it with the wind tunnel because I have to keep this USB cord plugged in, and the wind tunnel closes solidly, so there's no place to snake in a USB cord. So the fact that the battery compartment and the battery tabs aren't tight enough is a problem. And I wanted to kind of show this because obviously what I'm going to have to try and do is bend this tab in a little bit more, but it's not like this thing is kind of an industrial grade product, and I'm pretty sure that I can bend this in to get it to move, but I don't know if I'm going to break the tab off. So I at least wanted to have some video, kind of show everyone again my first impressions of this thing. It is about $30, I believe, on the Funtech Lab site. And so I'm going to have a quick review because I've already shot some video for it that I'm going to post a little later. And then I'll probably have a longer review. But at this point, I mean, can I recommend you buy it? I don't know. If you don't mind it just doing this and the car drifting off to one side, then I'd say sure, buy it. But again, this is what the cars do. The other cars I put on here, some drifted to the left, some drift to the right. With the trucks, as soon as they drift to the right and the wheels touch these plastic parts, the wheels stop moving. So, I'm giving this company credit because they're making cool products for Hot Wheels to use with Hot Wheels cars that, we haven't really had before, kind of higher end products. But if you've been watching, even with this, when we start to use the wind tunnel, there's some issues with the wind tunnel. It gives false readings about the amount of fog fluid that is present. Sometimes it just shuts off for no good reason. Most of the time you can just restart it pretty easily. But the fact is, it's not, you can tell it's a first generation product. And I think the same is true with this, because the fact that this car drifts to the side, and this will be about the fourth or fifth car that I've put in the Windsible, and I think there was only one car that didn't drift. So we'll see what happens, but let me turn this off. And as soon as I unplug this USB cord here, let's see if I can, let's see if the battery situation is still the same. So it's turned on. This is it. And this doesn't control speed. It's pretty much just on or off. There's no, you turn it all the way and you get more speed. And now I'm getting nothing. So let's see. Okay. So yeah, if I pinch these in, I can get some. So I'm going to take this battery out, and I am going to push that tab in. And like I said, this isn't, these tabs are very thin and flimsy. So I push the tab in, and so that should, make it work out a little better. Yeah, that works. So, all right, so here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and we're going to take the Blitz Speeder. That's going to be the first car that we put into the wind tunnel. It always is. So let's switch views. Get over here. Take a look at the wind tunnel. So the Windsible fits, or does it? Does it fit in? It's got to fit in here. I've seen it on their whole... the whole point of buying this was to get it to fit in here. What? Come on, you got to be kidding me. How is this not fitting in here? All right, I don't... See, the problem is I don't want to force any of this stuff. Let's see. Let's get some more light over here so you can kind of see what's happening. Basically, this is what's happening. All right, let me see if I can get this. Maybe slide it in right here. We're at the widest point. Yeah. Slide it in like that, and it is still... Are you kidding me? It's too wide to go in. What? You gotta be joking. Like, this is the only reason I bought this. And on their website, on their Instagram videos, this is how they showed people using it. Like, this was the whole point. But now you're telling me it doesn't fit. And it doesn't fit by basically that much. Okay. Let's take a closer look here. It doesn't fit in. Have I pushed it all the way in? I feel like I have. It's not, yeah, it's not going here. And so, this is weird. Well, see, that's the thing. So Christopher's saying that he thinks that the Windsible fits in the larger, because they have a 1/24th and a 1/18th scale version of this. But that can't be true because this Windsible, I mean, the Windsible, so the wind tunnel is the Windsible, this is the Windsible. The Windsible is set up for Hot Wheels cars. And Hot Wheels cars are 1/64th scale. A 1/18th scale car wouldn't fit on this. So this is the 1/64th scale Windsible, and this is the 1/64th scale wind tunnel. But this clearly does not fit in. And they will, I mean, they're going to hear about it, but, you know, whatever. I bought it, but this is not... It's not good. It's not good. So hang on, let me put the camera down. So I can get this thing out. That is a pretty big disappointment. Let me see. Let me double check. Make sure I didn't do something wrong, but no, this doesn't fit in here. And there's no, and it's not fitting by a lot. So I would say I mean, I don't have, I'd have to measure it, but basically it only fits in, it fits into about right there. And then everything else, all of this, I'd have to get out my calipers and measure, but it just doesn't work. So there's part of what you're going to hear in the review of the Windsible. So I guess we're back to doing things the way we have been doing, and we'll take a first look at the Blitz Speeder, and then I will grab some of the other cars that Roughshod and Christopher want to see in the wind tunnel. So let's go ahead and make sure that the Blitz Speeder is lined up correctly. It is. And this is what we have been doing. go ahead and get this thing turned up. And we will start off where we usually start off at 67 miles per hour. There should be a little pop with the smoke, which usually have. There it goes. All right. So we have 67 miles per hour. And here's another thing with this version of the Windsible. I don't know if they've corrected it on other versions. Is that there is out of the back. You can't really see it on camera, but the smoke fluid is leaking out of the back. I mean, it's not toxic, but it's almost like it's exhaust is coming out of the back, and I don't think that's what's supposed to happen. But just another thing. Again, this is the first generation of this product, so I'm not really gonna knock it too hard, but just being honest about what it is, because it is not cheap. I think the Windsible is about $240, and if you get the 1/24th scale or the 1/64 or the 1/18th scale, you're talking about $500-600 for those. So I don't think it's unreasonable to have certain expectations when you're paying that kind of money. All right, here is the blitz speeder. We're at 107 miles per hour up to 121, and we are seeing what we see with the blitz speeder. We are seeing that airflow go right over the top, right over the hood, the windshield, the roof line, right off the back, and it is just that smooth airflow that we don't see any disruption. We don't see any separation of the airflow from flowing over the body of the car, and it's pretty much ideal, and it shows why the blitz speeder is so dominant on our track. Let's see, gonna make the call. Yeah, I think what I'll end up doing is I'll make the full review, and see, what's up, because I did a review of the Windsible when I first got it, and now a few months later, the issue with the fog fluid, like it'll just pop up, it'll just stop and say you're out of fog fluid, but there's a little window on the tank, and I can tell I'm always above 50%, sometimes 75 to 100%. So that's off. The fact that this filter, that it leaks out like this, is something that I know that they said they've addressed in later builds, but it's not too bad, and for what it is, it's pretty good. So let's see, 134. Let's step it up. Go up to 174 miles per hour, and once again, what we're looking at, and especially when we compare it to the other cars we'll take a look at, is when the airflow hits this hood, comes up over the hood, to the windshield, to the roof line, and back to the end of the car. What we're not seeing is the airflow separate. On most cars, right around the top of the hood, if they're, even on the good cars, right around the top of the roof, the hood, the top of the roof, you'll start to see the air separate. When that happens, it creates an area of low pressure. There's high pressure at the front, there's low pressure at the back, creates pressure drag, and it's basically a force that's moving against the direction the car is trying to flow in. So that is what we're looking at. So I'm gonna grab those other cars. I guess I should. It would help if I wrote the information down. All right, we have Roughshod wants to look at 161 and 260, and Christopher wants to take a look at number 238 and 287. 238 and 287. All right. See, here we go. See, low on fog fluid, please add fog fluid and recalibrate. But I just looked at the tank before I fired this thing up, and I know for a fact that the amount of fog fluid in there is well above 50%. So it's just, yeah, it's just little things like that. Maybe they fixed it because, like I said, I was in the first group of backers. In fact, like when this thing arrived, it comes with a little paper that has the names of all the people who backed the Kickstarter campaign, and so my name is on there. But you know, again, it's a first generation whatever. I'm sure the people who got the very first iPhones or, you know, PlayStations or Xboxes had some issues, but I'm gonna go grab these other cars and we will take a look at those. Alright, let's go ahead and slow this down. Take a look at these next cars, because the Windsible, well, that's, yeah. Let me move this. This is really, yeah, I was really expecting, finally, we're going to have the Windsible, and that is going to be car. Alright, the thing to showcase the cars. Alright, let's take a look at this. This is the car that Roughshod is considering going with for the races on Saturday. This is the Street Wiener, and it is it's a car that I've definitely seen picked, and at one of the schools it was the car that won the race. There was a girl who picked it, and it was kind of a wild pick, but she turns out it was pretty fast. And as we mentioned, a lot of this is about matchups, and it really just kind of depends which car your car happens to go up against as to whether or not it's going to be lasting, going deep into the tournament or not. I think this car, even though it's a fantasy car, it's got a lot of these kind of traditional F1 IndyCar kind of lines to it, and I think that is part of the reason why it performs so well. Now, one thing that's interesting is this. It's got this grill in the back right here that opens up like that. So the one thing we have to do, it does snap shut, which I'm glad it's got. You can see it's got a little tab on it right here. So that's good because it snaps shut. If this thing were to pop open, then the air would hit it, and it's essentially acting like a parachute, and it would just slow down the car, and that is not what we want to have happen. So this will be closed down when it is time to race, and I like that it snaps right into place. Now it does, even though it stays closed, it does have a little bit of openings here on the sides. Hopefully no air gets in there to slow the car down, but let's go ahead and throw it in the wind tunnel and take a look at the street wiener and see what it's got going on. Now, I think it'll be interesting when the air is hitting that splitter slash spatula right in the front, because is the air going to get beneath that car and slow it down, or is that just not going to matter at all? So let's go ahead and get the street wiener fired up here, and here we go. Oh, well, here's the thing, Chris, about the F1 cars is I don't have the pictures here, but all those cars are the same. The only difference is the color and the decals. So even though I only have the one, I just have the Oracle Red Bull car. I noticed when I was looking at them that they're all still the same design, but they just have different logos and colors and things. So even though I don't have the pictures available right now, it's still the same car. Okay, so here's what's going on. When we've gotten this up to 80 miles per hour, you can already see that there's a lot going on right here, because what you pretty much don't want to see is air building up at the front part of the car, and then it comes up over that spatula, builds up right there, and then starts to flow over, under, and around the car. So this is at 80 miles per hour. Let's turn it up a little bit more. So we're at 134, and you still just see this buildup right here, and everything else is, I don't see anything else that's necessarily a problem. I don't know that I think the grill is staying closed and not trapping in any air, which is good. Let's take the speed up a little bit, up to 147. $161, and again, there's just a lot going on right here in the front, and ideally, this is part of the reason why I was so excited about the Windsible, is because I wanted to have the opportunity to lift these cars higher into the air so that we can have more interaction with some of the other streams, and we can also see how the air flows beneath the car. So I might just end up having to build something to accomplish that, because with the Windsible not fitting inside here, it's not really of much use. So let's go up. Let's take this up 188 miles per hour. And we are still just seeing that air build up right there at the front. There's a lot going on, and it's a little difficult to tell how this will impact the car ultimately, and there it goes, saying we're low on fog fluid, which we know we are not, but we have at least taken a look at this car and checked it out to see what is happening there. Then I come back to the other side, and it looks like that camera overheated. It is warm in here, but it's we are going to keep going, and we're going to take a look at the second car that Roughshod is considering, and it is this one. It is I think it's called the Berserk. Yeah, the Berserk. Now, this car is interesting. Let's zoom on in. this car, it's a bigger car, but it's also a gimmick car. So it's got this little buzzsaw thing right here. And as the car rolls, this buzzsaw turns. The reason why the buzzsaw turns is because it sticks out under the bottom of the car, but it doesn't stick out. Is it? I'm trying to see if it's touching the ground. It is not. It does not touch the ground, but you can see right there that as the car moves, this, in theory, it'll start to turn. Now, because it's not touching the ground, the question is, all right, so why is it turning? So then it must be the air that's pushing against it as the car is moving down the track that actually makes it turn. So if this was not there, it would just be pretty much a standard kind of Hot Wheels, fantasy car. The other thing that may be a little concerning is that there is this gap where the buzzsaw sits, and air is going to rush in there. And then what happens after that? Anybody's guess. The back end of the car comes to this point, so that means that point is going to be the only point of contact on the launching blocks, which means this car may get good launches, it may not. It seems it's wide, so I think that's going to help it if this is the car that Roughshod ends up going with. But it's definitely, it's going to have some challenges, I can already tell. But the main thing, at least this buzzsaw does not touch the ground, so that's good. I thought part of the way that they were going to get this to move is it touches the ground and rolls just like a wheel. So let's go ahead and put this into the wind tunnel and see if we can see something notable, and we'll find out which of these cars is going to make the cut, is going to make Roughshod's cut. Got that here and there. All right. And let's go ahead, clamp this down, get this smoke fired up. Start off where we usually start, 67 miles per hour, which is pretty much nothing. And you can see the air, it's hitting the front of the car, building up there, coming up over the hood, and then runs right into the buzzsaw. And let's go ahead and turn the speed up to 107 miles per hour. We're still seeing the same thing. The air's coming right up over the top, hitting that buzzsaw, and then flowing back over the car. It's also got these pipes sticking up on both sides of the buzzsaw, so there's that kind of to consider. Let's take it on up. The Berserk. I think. Now I do like the wheels. I'm a fan of those 5-spoke wheels. It's got the larger version in the back and the standard size in the front. I like that. I think if I had to pick between these two cars, I would probably go with the Street Wiener, but that's only because I've seen it race and win and do well. So I'm a little, I'm not exactly impartial, and not really making that decision in a vacuum because I've seen the car race and know what it can do. So let's see. We've got the Berserk in here. I'm going to turn this up, and then I'm going to grab Christopher's cars, 238 and 287. Alright, so we've got the Berserk, and I don't know. Well, actually, you know what? Let's go all the way up. I'm going to go to 201. Yeah, and the airflow is also, it's just separating from the body. As soon as it comes up, hits here, it's just flowing up and off, and I don't know all that. I think I would definitely go with the street wiener if I had to pick one of those cars. That's just me, but we will see which roughshod decides to go with. We also have Christopher's one of the cars he's considering. This one, I believe this is like the Roger Dodger 2.0. It is indeed the Roger Dodger 2.0. And I think with this car, just looking at it right at, my first impression is that those two engines sticking up in the top are going to be a problem. Maybe not initially. It'll probably be able to beat some cars, but I think if you're always kind of thinking ahead to which car can be competitive with the Blitz speeder, then I think you might make a different choice. It's also a long car. This car is pretty long. It's got larger wheels in the back, smaller wheels in the front. It looks to be metal body on a plastic base, and typically, not always, but typically the cars with the metal bodies are going to weigh more. So then that's another thing to take into consideration, is how much this car might weigh. And let's go ahead and put it in the wind tunnel and see if those engines actually are the problem that I think they will be. Who knows? It's why I love racing Hot Wheels cars, because you just never know. And Roughshod he's made his pick. He's gonna go with the street wiener, the hot dog car. So we will be seeing that car on the track on Saturday at the track live, 11 a.m. Pacific, and anyone can tune in and participate. You just have to go to AtTheTrack.live and find the car that you want by selecting the Choose Your Car link. And you're going to be taking our page. There are over 880 cars currently listed. And that will be the place where you will find the car that maybe can beat out the Blitz Speeder and become our new fastest in fleet champion. All you have to do is take the number of the car on that page and drop it in the chat, and I will pull it. If you do that now, I'll take it out and put it in the wind tunnel. But this is what we're looking at right here. You can see how the air is hitting those engines. This is not, that's the air is hitting the front of the car, and then it has to go over, under, and around. The air that's going over the top runs right into that first engine, creates this area of high pressure, and then the air just kind of flows off and around that. If those engines were not there, this would be a pretty good, solid pick. With those engines there, you can just see they're causing this disruption of the airflow, and as soon as that airflow starts to separate from the body, you're creating a whole bunch of other problems that are going to impact the car's performance. So, is it an ideal pick? Probably not. Let's turn this up, and as you turn it up, you can still just see right there, right in this area. So if you compare that to the Blitz Speeder and how the air flows over that car, this is almost the total opposite of what you want to see. So that is the Roger Dodger 2.0, and that is one of the cars that Christopher is considering. The other car he is considering is this 2016 Mercedes AMG, and we'll check that out right here. And this one, I think of the two, I think I definitely like this one better, just because if we start off, that wing in the back, we've seen cars with those big wings right at the roof line do well on our track. And this one's straight, so that means it's going to press right up against the launching block. This car should get a good push out of the launching block. And other than that, everything else is pretty traditional, but there's no buzz saw, there's no grill, there's no sirens, there's no turret, there's nothing to really get in the way of the airflow with this car. So all of the drag that it encounters should just be kind of the standard drag that you would expect from this isn't exactly a supercar, but a sports car. So let's go ahead and put it in the wind tunnel, and I think we will see better results from this one than we saw with the Roger Dodger 2.0. But let's go ahead and get that lined up. It's a good looking car. I definitely like it. I can see the air probably going to build up right at the front of the car, but once you get beyond that point, should be okay. So let's step this up. So we're at our baseline, 67 miles per hour, and you can see the air kind of just building up in the front and then flowing over, under, and around. This car's got a very low splitter right there. I'm going to turn this up. Let's go to 107. And yeah, I think what we're seeing, air is building up in the front, going over, under, and around. When it comes over the top, across the hood, the windshield, to the roof line, and then it does separate right here at the roof line. We are not seeing the airflow follow the body of the car. We're not seeing any of that. It just separates right there, and that is, in that area, going to start to create an area of low pressure. There's high pressure at the front, and that's going to create that pressure drag that is going to be working against the car's forward momentum. The thing with the blitz speeder, it's able to reduce the impact of that drag, and it maintains its speed longer on our track. So in other words, it looks faster on our track. Let's go ahead and turn this up, see if what we can see. Going to go up to 147 miles per hour. And yeah, that's pretty much still seeing the same thing. Airflow over the hood, windshield, roof, and then the separation. We do see the turbulent air in the back, but that's not as much of a concern for our purposes. And if we were able to lift this car up into the wind streams, we might be able to see how the diffuser in the back is working. If the diffusers on Hot Wheels cars actually work in the same way that they do on real cars, but we'd have to lift this up into the airstreams a little higher to be able to see that. So this is, I think of the two, I think this is the one that I would go with. But we've seen surprises on the track. We see them all the time. So just because we have an idea about how a car will perform, it's what I tell the students. You can have an idea, you can think you know how the car will perform based on everything you've seen before, but until the cars actually get onto the track, you never know. So this is, we're up to 188 miles per hour. And this is the 2016 AMG. Good looking car, and we will see if Christopher decides to go with this car or if he sticks with the Roger Dodger 2.0. So we did that, and you notice with the Windsible, we didn't get the warning message. So aside from the fact that I already know how much fog fluid we have in here, it just goes to show how this thing is kind of inconsistent with the way that it reports whether or not you have the appropriate amount of fog fluid. So we had some more cars in the wind tunnel. We took a look at the Windsible. I mentioned before I've got a little 1 minute quick review that I am going to post later on this evening, and then I will definitely need to make a longer review that includes the fact that the Windsible does not fit into the Windsible, and I'll get some better lighting to show exactly what it is. But this is a disappointment. I mean, I'm glad it didn't cost any more than it does, but the fact that it doesn't work in the Windsible is a problem. I'm going to go back and look at their Instagram account for Funtech Labs, but I'm sure I saw this in the wind tunnel or in the Windsible, and that's the whole reason I bought it, and that's what I've been talking about and looking forward to. And the fact that it's too wide to go in there, maybe there's some engineering reason why they had to make it wider and why it can't fit, but because it doesn't fit, what's the point of it? Also, the fact that cars just drift around. They won't stay centered. I don't know. I'm no engineer, so I don't know how you would solve that problem. Maybe if these are more cone shaped, maybe that helps. But the fact is, and you'll see on the videos when I do the review, is that the trucks and cars, some, just slide to the side. And as soon as they slide far enough to the side where the wheels hit this solid plastic part, like you can see the rollers there, as soon as the wheels hit this plastic part, they stop turning. So if you have this car and it's here and it slides all the way to this side, well then all of a sudden these wheels won't be turning at all. And the fact that it doesn't stay centered, I guess isn't too much of a problem unless you were going to use it with the Windsible. But since it doesn't fit in the Windsible, I guess that part doesn't matter. So the issue with the batteries and having to kind of fold this tab in just suggests to me that they should have made this a little more robust or something, because I have a feeling that taking batteries in and out this little tab, if you have to move it like that every time, is going to break off. And so again, it's version 1, and I think when you buy version 1 of anything, especially a new product, I guess version 1 means it's a new product, but anytime you buy version 1, you got to expect some problems and some issues. Oh, here's the other thing. When I was testing this earlier, the front rollers just stopped rolling. And for no apparent reason, I turned it off, turned it on, turned it off, turned it on, and kind of tapped it and shook it a little bit, and then they started rolling. But there was one point where they just stopped rolling. So, if you have $30, and I don't know why you would buy this, but maybe, I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of like with the wind tunnel. Other than me, I don't know. So, I think that we've kind of, I'll have to wait. I'll do the longer review. I don't want to knock a new product so much, but it is what it is. And if it doesn't work the way it's supposed to, it doesn't work. But again, the thing I'm most disappointed about is that it doesn't fit in the wind tunnel. So, oh well. I will post that review But in the meantime, on Saturday, we will be here racing cars at 11 a.m. Pacific. AtTheTrack.live. You can find the links to the YouTube stream and the Twitch stream. And go to AtTheTrack.live, select choose a car, and you can find a car, pick a car, and your car can race against the street winner, whichever car Christopher selects, whichever car other viewers select, the cars that I introduce into the fleet, and then ultimately whichever car wins will take on the Blitzbeater, our fastest in fleet car, the fastest Hot Wheels car on the planet, and we always have a lot of fun. So if you can't make it 11 a.m. Pacific for the live version, you can go to our YouTube channel and you can click the live tab and see all of the episodes there. There are time codes. You can jump to whichever part of the episode you would like to see. And we have fun with Hot Wheels cars, sprinkle in a little science, and it's a good time. So until Saturday, I am Coach James for Wind Tunnel Wednesday, for All About Aerodynamics, and for At the Track Live. And until Saturday, I will see you at the races.